I can't but think of imagining an era. I mean, right now we have problem with socially incorrect thing to say, but in the US or in other countries where you have got trans people competing in the women's race and beating them, so the whole debate is about whether the person is a he or a she in that sense, and then you're going to tomorrow have whether the person is a human or a it or is a cyborg, what should I say, that's competing with humans. So I think we're going to be in for some interesting time, and I think the
No, in
guys are
fact,
going
there's a
to.
simpler example. Sorry to interrupt, Vivek.
No,
But who
sure.
was that guy, Pistorius, the South African guy, the runner, who was accused of murdering his girlfriend, etc., who below the knee did not have legs, had those blades, right?
Absolutely.
And he was winning amazing races. Okay, and we're talking of 10 years back.
Right.
So already, you're having like a fused human being, and then there was this whole thing about should he be allowed to run in races at all or not. So I think we're going to see more and more of these.
More and more, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
philosophers and lawyers are going to be in big demand. So I think that's probably one job that will be safe. There's a very interesting question here from Ayesha, Jasprit, and it touches upon one of your favorite topics about social AI. And she said that like new AI tools like Project December let people chat with virtual versions of loved ones who have passed away. Do you think AI chatbots can be a healthy tool for grief management, or is there a risk? I mean, obviously now we're talking about ethical risk and everything, but some thoughts from you.
Yeah, I mean, in one of these days in this program, Vivek, we'll get in Dr. Henry Shevlin, who was my professor at Cambridge.
Yeah, I've heard him. He's very good, yeah.
Yeah, and he's credited with actually creating the term social AI. And he's writing a book about it now. And he taught us, post my 2-year course, he actually did a special class for that. And I intend to write about that also. I promised him. So we will have a much better answer, let me put it that way. But from him. I think, I also want to say as an aside, Vivek, that I think one of the things I do want to say is that as we do these conversations and the people who are hearing and asking questions, I think none of us is going to know everything about it. And I keep on saying these names because I really like these and admire these people. And some of the names you say, Penrose, etc. And I hope the people who have asked questions or are hearing also go and explore these people to answer their questions. Because that to me is the real purpose of our talks, okay, of exciting curiosity and having the right people answer rather than just say you and I. But anyway, that was an aside. On Aisha, on this bit, what I know is it's inevitable. Okay, what I can say with certainty that having AI companions is inevitable. It's a perfect storm. There's a loneliness epidemic in the world for multiple reasons, economic and otherwise. Younger people are not dating and marrying as much as they used to. Okay, that's number two. Number three, younger people especially have gotten used to having artificial companions like their mobile phones, okay, and immersing themselves in it. Four, as more immersive technologies like the Apple's Vision Pro and others come in, I think the perfect, and then obviously there's AI and Gen AI and all these different things being created. It's inevitable that the movie like Her or apps like Replica, which were an early beginners, are going to evolve into AI. I mean, we are going to have AI companions. Forget AI companions. I think in very short order, CHROs are going to grapple with how to work with humans and AIs as employees in their organization. Okay, and so I think this whole coexisting with AIs, whether from an emotional or work colleague or whatever standpoint, is bound to happen. Yes, it'll raise ethical issues, it'll raise massive ethical issues, and it'll raise huge philosophical issues, and a lot of older people especially will not accept this in their children's lives, and kind of think of it as something absolutely absolutely harmful and not right. But frankly, I think this is that route to that same thing we were discussing, Vivek, which is that eventually it's going to be a fused human and
Yeah,
human and AI. And
right.
and the last thing I would say is that, whenever you want to know a little bit about the future in technology and science, read science fiction. And there's
Yeah,
enough science fiction out there which talks about human non-human relationships
yeah.
and friendships. uh, I think it's inevitable, it's bound to happen, and it's a huge area of new questions which we'll have to answer.
Right. Jaspreet, again, your favorite and perhaps, my favorite, Yuval Harari actually talked about consciousness once, I mean, he's touched upon it multiple times. And in one of his talks, he was saying that, listen, if you think of it, consciousness is actually, again, a very social construct, if you think of it. Because he said, look, the thing that we've always grappled with is that I know I'm conscious, but I have no way of knowing whether you are conscious. All the other people on the chat are. I mean, maybe we are just in a very large Truman Show right now, right, where the world is filled with insentient being. Because consciousness is a very, very subjective, personal, aspiration or personal, relatable, subject. Uh, and he said, but now we have made a social concept that because I'm conscious, maybe people around me are also, they have consciousness around there. And then a lot of pet owners, for example, said dog, pet owners especially will say that, my dog is 101% conscious, but they won't attribute the same thing, let's say, to a pig, who apparently on scales of intelligence, is far more intelligent. Yeah. But, when you eat a bacon, or when you kind of do that, you don't think of them as conscious beings. And similarly with plants, and so on and so forth. So his view was, it's a very social construct when you think about it, right? And I think what's going to happen is you're going to start thinking in terms of, okay, you know what, this buddy of mine, which is this phone, which is talking to me, is actually also very, very conscious, because
Yeah.
this person is able to give me such a nice hearing when my boyfriend or my girlfriend or my spouse can't do that, right? And then when that starts happening then that's when the legislation starts coming in, because when people are convinced about something, things are happening. So uh, any thoughts on this?
You project consciousness to something else.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Sure. No, that's a good way to think about it. I mean, I haven't thought of it that way. Yeah, that's a great way to think about it.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. And then there's, by the way, Pi says that, yeah, you're talking about the Blade Runner, Pistorius. Yeah, that's the person
Blade
who
Runner.
pitched the
Yeah,
word.
that's right. Pistorius was
Yeah,
called the Blade Runner. I was searching
yeah,
for that word. Yeah.
absolutely. Lakshmi is saying that, look, sorry, she's again talking about the super smart buddy. Interesting thing, so I'll just first put her question and then kind of, build on it. Lakshmi is saying, do you think AI could become like a super smart buddy, making us feel like the sidekick in our own story? So we become really like the co-pilot. In fact, I mean, and there's been a lot of talk, right? And Microsoft announced co-pilot, but I think with the launch of Devon, right? I mean, it's saying that it looks like we are going to become the co-pilot, and that's going to become the main pilot, right? So
No, so the pilot co-pilot thing is not about intelligence.
Mhm.
Okay. It's not about who's more intelligent than the other, and the one who's more intelligent or capable should be the pilot. Okay, that's not the definition. The definition of pilot co-pilot is who has the agency, who
Yeah,
can perform action. Okay. Now, if, for example, if I was to compete with a AI even today in terms of figuring out what are the best flights for me to get from here to Belize, okay, which is not like Bombay to Delhi. Okay, so from here to Belize or here to Patagonia. Okay. And if I and an AI were to compete, I can assure you that all 10 out of 10 times the AI will win. Okay, because it's about super getting lots of data together and very quickly crunching it and bringing the optimal. So optimization is something which with data something that an AI can do. Now, does that mean that if I'm a travel agent, okay, I become the co-pilot and the AI is the pilot, because every single time it can do travel arrangements faster? No, the thing is that my customer has entrusted me as the travel agent, okay, to do the task, human travel agent, if he has, and also figure out other things like, is this the right weather, and there was a coup there, so is there like a problem on the streets or whatever. But the agency of booking the ticket, of actually saying, yes, I want the ticket, and then pushing whatever button and, linking the wallet to get the money, etc. Or even if the wallet is linked, saying that, yes, go ahead, is with the pilot. And the Microsoftian definition of a co-pilot is linked to agency, not intelligence. Okay. Yeah. And so I think whether there's Devin or not doesn't really matter.
Right. And there's an interesting comment by a mutual fund, Deepak, DC, who says that, wouldn't it be amazing if I could simply outsource my Vipassana to my AI? So,
yeah. Deepak, dream on.
I think, yeah. When it comes to enlightenment, I guess still have to be some work to be done by us, right, and not by a co-pilot in that sense.
Absolutely.
Right. Jaspreet, there's still a couple of questions, but I just want to be respectful of the time because I know you have an event to get to, and we've really spent close to around 50 minutes, and I think this was really fantastic. And let's just think about what could we touch upon next time. I mean, maybe social AI consciousness. Let's debate that. I would request the community to kind of drop in some questions, and I think let's take you on your point. Maybe we should start dropping in the YouTube links and the article links, for some of the speakers and the topics that we've talked about. I think that would be a great way to kind of build the community on this. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Sorry for being late. And actually, I again repeat that I feel inadequate with some of these questions. I wish I knew more, but hopefully it excites curiosity to go learn more. So thanks.
No, I think all the conversation really, always, give us a view. And I think even the smartest people like Roger Penrose, for example, even he says that, look, I have no idea about this, but let me try. And I think that's the area that we are in. I think we are all speculating, we're all deliberating. And I think it's just about having that rigor, right, as we try to make sense of this, right? No, thank you so much. Yeah, just lovely. Sorry, you were saying something?
No, just that. Lovely to be here. Thank you very much.
All right. Have a good one. Have a great evening.